to the Bronx from a while.
What's up, guys? This is Uriah Faber.
What's up, guys? Stephen One Boy Thompson.
It's the IBF champion, Errol Spence Jr.
Cynthia Calvio.
Hi, this is Michaela Mayer.
Montana and Mark, the De La Rosas.
This is David Miracle Man Jacob. Shout out to Kendrick and Matt.
And you're listening to the Slip and Dip podcast.
And you're listening
With your boy Kendrick and Matt.
And you're listening to Kendrick and Matt on the Slip and Dip podcast.
What is up, people? Welcome back to the Slip and Dip podcast, episode number 37, coming at you on a Sunday evening, live during UFC St. Louis. We got it on the screen here. We're watching the main events coming up. Man, we got a packed show for you guys. Across the room for me, as always, Mr. Kendrick Johnson, holding it down over there. Man, we got a packed show. Three
for the price of one.
Technically four, if you want to get technical. You know. You want to get technical with it. I'm just saying.
Who's the fourth one?
Man, we had on the intro there a new little voice you may have heard on the intro. Mr. Errol Spence Jr.
Who will be fighting next Saturday at Barclays Center against Lamont Peterson. We also have Judo Thunder in the house, who will be fighting at UFC 220 next Saturday. And we have Errol's trainer, Derrick James. And the guy could have won Trainer of the Year for UFC last year, Mr. Trevor Wittman. Mad respect for him as a trainer, as a person. One of the nicest guys, period, less known in the MMA game. Showing us some love, revealing some secrets, and helping us grow the show. You ball, you get the call, and that man be balling.
Absolutely, man. Love talking to Trevor. It's a fantastic interview with him, giving us some insight into what's been going on with his fighters and his camp. And great talks with Judo Thunder as well. You can still call him Judo Thunder, people. I confirmed it. It's good.
I didn't even know that was a mystery, though, for real.
It was a mystery for me because, like I said, man, usually I heard everybody talking Judo Thunder, and then it just kind of stopped. And I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Is he trying to distance himself from the best nickname in the UFC? So I'm glad that is still a thing. You'll hear him talk about that and a whole lot more. UFC Africa. We can make that a thing that happens, depending on what happens with Stipe and Francis next week. Oh boy, I don't know.
More things. Why people want to take UFC to places they've never been before, when 98.9% of us can't go there to watch it live anyway.
This is not about it, because it's about expanding and growing the sport. Just because we can't go doesn't mean other people in other countries can't go.
Yeah, but this notion that UFC is going to be a top 5 sport, they need to stop all that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I said that last episode, man. Like, there's only so far that this sport is going to grow, because you're not going to convert people that hate violence and hate seeing people get punched in the face.
And then you got the women's factor. Some people, I watch a guy fight any day. Just can't watch girls. Just can't do it.
Yeah, that's just insane. I'm sorry. Women can compete in this sport. I've talked to some trainers. I'm not going to name any names that won't train women or have had that issue. So yeah, that's just silly to me. I mean, listen, women are athletes as well. They can compete, whether it be combat sports or something like tennis. It's like, what's the difference? They're competing. You know what I mean?
And combat sports is a little bit different, but not.
I mean, it's the same thing. Listen, you go in there.
But like, you got to deal with a lot more stuff that would. As I say, that they should be. There's a lot more to it. It's like crafting. You try to craft the perfect male UFC fighter versus crafting the perfect female fighter. Completely different things, other than their male and female, because of genetics and
yeah, there's things that are different, but you can still make a badass female fighter.
Oh yeah, that's possible. No, I'm not trying to say that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's
that
much
difference. People say that they're not different. It's just it is a big difference. But yeah, no, you can still craft a world champion.
Yeah, you can still make a badass female fighter. Like, there's nothing going different with that, at least in that aspect. You can make high level female fighters. I mean, Amanda Nunes, Chris Cyborg.
But the
first two come to mind. They're just absolutely incredible. People think that
Ronda was overrated.
Ronda was overrated.
See, huh?
She was overrated.
Okay, let me know in UFC, MMA.
She was overrated in the fact that she was a one-trick pony that had that the rest of the division didn't know how to defend against.
Yeah, but when will we ever see, male or female, somebody knocking people off that are highly rated, regardless of what the rankings were at the time? in 1 minute.
You won't because
20, 30 seconds.
You won't because all of the other divisions.
Pops, it was that easy, everybody be doing it.
No.
Yeah. If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it.
It's completely different.
I know it's completely different, but why is nobody doing it? If it was that easy, because you got.
I'm trying to tell you because there's a difference between.
I'm not saying she's the best female fighter of all time, but she got to go down in the conversation.
Yeah, she'll be in the conversation because of what she did, but at the time, she was taking advantage of a division that wasn't fully developed yet. Like, the male divisions are so much further advanced than women's 135 when Ronda was at the top of the game. Yeah. Because she had friggin' head and arm throw, which is like the staple of women's MMA, and she had her judo throws. And once she did that, got you to the ground, pound you out, whatever have you, get you in the arm bar. Nobody could defend against. She exploited the two things that women's fighters are almost immune against defense. One, the head and arm throw, and the other judo tosses in the arm bars. If you watch low-level women's MMA, those are two things that you always see. You always see girls locking in arm bars, and you always see girls getting judo tossed. Ronda was excellent. I'm not saying Ronda wasn't excellent or she wasn't high level. She was the best at doing those two things. And she completely exploited a division full of women that couldn't defend against it.
Who would you put her at right now at greatest all time?
I mean, she's definitely in the conversation just because.
I think you have to put her third. You have to put.
It's kind of like
Cyborg highly ahead of her, and then
she did what Hoist Gracie did. Hoist Gracie came in and did a whole bunch of shit that people didn't know how to defend against. And then eventually we saw what happened. Everybody caught up to Hoist Gracie. No, now everybody caught up to Ronda.
Well, not that too. Ronda though, it's more of an age thing. Like if Ronda was Paige Van Zandt's age, doing what she was doing, I think she still could dominate. She could adjust. She's a superior athlete. That age makes a big difference because we're starting to see ladies either taper off around 30 or they just get out the game. Look at Misha. JJ, that was her first fight after being a 30-year-old. She got that ass whooped. I'm just saying, trends that's three different people with similar results around that age level. Just like in the males game, when bulls start turning 35, 36, they start getting that ass beat. Ladies, it might be a little bit earlier because they trying to have kids and all that stuff, but people don't talk about that. But that's a trend. You start getting about 30, like Amanda Nunes, guarantee you, she's like 28 or 29, I guarantee you by 2019 somebody will bop her. It won't be just Cyborg.
I need a larger sample size because we're still talking about a division that's still growing and still learning and still adapting.
Yeah, but you start seeing people drop off at 30 chicks.
Yeah, I don't think the sample size is there. I mean, yeah, those examples, yes, you have some there, but I need more. I need more of a sample size to agree like fully.
But that's an early trend.
Yeah. It is an early trend. I agree with you there, but we'll see if it holds up as we see more well-rounded fighters hit that age limit. Like, I think we're going to need another at least 5 years to see it because we're just now getting to a point.
30, 33. That's when 33 you make something exceptional, but you won't see nobody be able to pull a GSP and come back and dominate.
My point is we're like men have been well-rounded. Like the men's side of the game has been well-rounded for quite a number of years now. The women's side is just now getting to the point to where the high level at the top are well-rounded. So like we just now see the Amanda Nunes' breakthrough. She's holding the title now. She's a well-rounded fighter.
But let's look at it from a technical standpoint. For somebody that called the whole Cyborg fight. First of all, when have we ever seen Cyborg get technical? She was smart enough. People have this. She's one of the most misunderstood ladies in this whole fighters. Period. She's legitimately really nice, and she knows what the hell she's talking about. And she, most importantly, was smart enough to know, hey, I'm 32 now. I can't just come up in here crazy lady. I have to get better technical if I'm gonna keep beating these chicks. That's what she's doing, but. It's changed because she's 32, so she has to do that to stay at that level. Little stuff like that you start seeing because she's physically not the same fighter. Yeah. It's like even though she's winning, she ain't doing the same. When you see people go 5 rounds with Cyborg at 32, I know it's Holly Holm, but even the chick before that, you're starting to see little bitty stuff like that.
Yeah, she's definitely.
I'm not going to say 30, you're done, but 30 to 33, I don't see ladies, and then their body. Once again, it goes back to the bodies.
Yeah. No, that's true. It's true. And, I mean, she's definitely evolved. That's very apparent, especially you watch that fight against Holly. I mean,
it's true. He called it.
Technical striking, the counter rights, the counter hooks,
But
Beautiful.
she's never in. She wasn't in danger. But the most important thing to me, other than her getting a hand raise, I'm all about winning. But it's how she cut off the ring. If Francis Ngannou could cut off the ring like she could, he would be the baddest man on the planet. Because you're going to get caught sooner or later. You can only walk around the octagon so many times before you get trapped. If he knows how to cut off a ring, I don't care if you're Stipe, whoever, it's a matter of time. But he does not know how to cut off the ring. So therefore, if somebody like Stipe, I'm going to put my official win, will be and still.
Yeah. I mean,
Experience will win this thing. I'm not gonna say he will never be a champion, so don't be tweeting me and emailing me. It just ain't gonna be Saturday night. This ain't gonna be Saturday night.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
Better experience means a big deal in this game.
It does, definitely does. I mean, we're gonna see a very big example of it next weekend. Stipe and Francis, man.
Cause you really think Stipe gonna play? You hit me, I hit you. You hit me, I might hit you.
Right.
He remotely tried that game.
Yeah, UFC put up. I watched it the other day. The UFC put up their free fights that they always do every week before a big fight. They'll put up the free fights. I watched the Stipe and Junior fight. It was a quick fight, but there's still some things in there you can pick up on. Like Stipe's head movement is so much better than what Francis has seen ever.
Yeah.
In his
and Francis,
his patience too.
Yeah, he hits hard, but how good of an athlete is he really?
He's a pretty damn good athlete. Because
can we see him?
Stipe,
let's see him fight from his back. We never seen that.
We have seen that actually. There's very small instances of it in his.
I'm
UFC
talking about
run.
like for a round or something. Or let's say, I'm really most importantly, I want to see him go past 15. I want to see. We know Stipe can do that.
I agree there. But
I'm not trying to say he has bad cardio, but we hadn't seen it. Like same thing with Cyborg. People didn't think she could do it. She actually poured it on in the 4th and 5th round.
There's like this misconception I think that a lot of people have that Francis hasn't really had any adversity. He got tagged. He got tagged hard and rocked by Curtis Blades. He got rocked by Curtis Blades. He got taken down a couple of times, but he got back up. So I mean, he's had some adversity. It's not like he's just going in there and being not touched. Like the dude's had some moments where he's gotten tested a little bit, but he hasn't been tested for a complete round yet. He hasn't had to control a guy for an entire round and fight off a guy like throwing heavy ground and pound or having to work through those things. Like you had guys pressure him against the cage and whatnot, but a guy like Stipe is so much further advanced than whatever he's seen so far.
Oh, who you picking?
Man, I mean, if you're
telling me in, I put your bid in.
Let me finish. If you're telling me to go up to the window at the MGM and place a bet, I'm going to put it on Stipe. But that's really a lot more to it. Like if I'm trying to simply say I want a winner that'll pay out a bet, I'm going with Stipe. But man, there's so many variables for Francis that could work out in his favor. And I like both guys a lot, so it's not like I'm leaning far too hard either way. You know what I mean?
I want to see a good fight that go longer than 15.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to go 15 minutes, man. I think under a round and a half is that sweet spot, right around in there. And I think that's what we're going to be looking at.
It's definitely not going to 425, but
if it does, it's going to be a terrible fight. Like, because I don't see Francis. I don't see Francis having that same type of fight that Stipe and Junior Dos Santos had the first time around. Yeah. That was a back and forth battle. A lot of damage being dealt out. I don't see that happening. So I think somebody's going to get clipped. Somebody's going to get grounded, pounded until the ref steps in. But that's a week in advance. We can talk about more. Episode 38.
Next episode will be after the fight.
That's right. Because I forget.
Come on now.
I'm losing my mind.
He is.
I'm coming to you on a Sunday, so Sunday while the UFC is on right now. That's what it's got me thinking of Saturday. But anyways, yeah. Listen, I'm. That is pretty much like the only fight I'm really super excited about breaking down technically. Like this fight card that's on right now, like there's better names on this card as the main event's about to get underway right here. But Doo Ho Choi and Jeremy Stephens, I think this is about to be a banger. Give me a quick prediction right now before they get me in the center.
Stephens wins by experience, just like the way Cub beat him.
Okay.
I think he actually tagged Cub harder than Cub did by his experience.
They touch gloves. I'm going with Doo Ho Choi, Korean Superboy, by something. by something. That's what I'm gonna go with. So we'll see who comes out on top. But
So while y'all listen to the interviews, we'll be watching the fights.
yeah, absolutely. So let's get into them, man. How are we gonna do it? We got 3 guests in a row. I think we're gonna do. What are we gonna do? We're gonna do Judo Thunder, Trevor Wittman, Errol Spence audio, and the Derrick James. That's how we're gonna roll. So guys, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys enjoy the interviews. Of course, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Spreaker, follow us on not Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. You got the handles up there for you on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. Kendrick Johnson at Kendrick John. So Matthew Wells, me at Mr. M Wells Art on the Twitters. Hit us up, follow us, and follow the show at Slip and Dip Podcast. Episode 37 interviews coming at you right now. Once again, back at you with another superstar guest on the Slip and Dip Podcast, Mr. Abdul Razak Alhassan, getting ready to take the octagon again at UFC 220 against a man. He had a controversial ending in his last outing, Saba Homasi. So we're gonna run that whole thing back once again. Give me a little bit of, tell me how it felt like being in that type of situation where you're going out there, you're landing some hard punches on the guy. He seems to drop down to the canvas. I guess in that moment, did you feel like you had knocked him out, or did you know that he wasn't really knocked out in that moment? Because it was pretty crazy.
No, when I hit him when he fell down, I know I hurt him, but I know he was not out. So as a fighter, when he went down, I also went down, tried to, if I could hit more, and then I felt the referee touch me from the back. So, but I knew I dropped him. I knew my punch dropped him, but he wasn't out. He wasn't like a knockout out. So, but I knew I hurt him when he fell down. So, when the referee told me to stop, you cannot tell a referee, you're still gonna keep hitting somebody. So when he told me to stop, all I did was stop.
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy situation, man. I mean, I guess how was it like frustrating though, knowing that you did all the work leading up to the fight. You go out there, you have a good performance, and then you gotta go back into camp and get ready to fight the same guy again.
I know it's very disappointing. In a way, you want to fight one person and get away from that person and get ready for the next one, and for you to go to another camp just for the same person again, it's kind of frustrating. But at the same time, if God said that's what's going to happen, that's what's going to happen. I'm just going to go back there and try and knock him out for clean this time. So.
Yeah.
Does it give you extra confidence knowing that you didn't put him to sleep? Like you can put him to sleep. He thinks he can put you to sleep.
I know. We both thinking the same, but I know I can put him to sleep for sure. So, and that's what I'm going to try and do this time.
How much did being training with Mr. Steve Wright help you out? One of the best striking specialists in the game today.
Steven, I learned all the striking that I know from Steven because I started my striking with him. I started my kickboxing with him, but I've learned more and improved from other coaches like Tony Cabello. But I started my striking with Steve since from the beginning. I started with him, so he's a very good coach. He's a very good coach, very technical, know how to teach you, know how to he's always improving. So as a coach, he's always improving, trying to teach you new stuff. So I really like my coach.
So if you say you get your hand raised again, like we're expecting, are you gonna call somebody out? How you gonna get them people to keep doing like they do with Kamaru, like they dodging y'all? How you get somebody getting the octagon with y'all?
They're scared. They are scared of Kamaru. Kamaru is a beast. So I'm sitting out here waiting for his turn so I can watch him fight. But like I don't know. I'm not the kind of person that call people out. I don't really call people out. But for me, it doesn't matter who they give me. I will show them. I'll fight anybody. But that's the thing, though. They might be sleeping on me now, but very soon they'll realize I'm not that guy to be sleeping on. So I'm not gonna go out of my way and call people out. If somebody call me out, I'm always down to fight. So it doesn't matter to me.
Nice. It seems like you and Kamaru kind of have like that quiet killer thing going on, where you guys are both just devastating strikers, and but you both are kind of quiet. I know I liked how Kamaru started out with the "I'm a problem" line for the whole division. He started that whole little angle. So
yeah, I know.
That was pretty cool. Like, did he come up with that in training? Do you know, or you guys? I know guys kind of talk about that kind of stuff in the gym a little bit. In between sessions.
Yep. Yeah, Kamaru is a beast, man. When it comes to that guy, like he is work ethics. You know, his mentality when it comes to everything. That guy is just too good. You know, and right now I know people are thinking he's just a wrestler, but they have a whole new thing coming. That guy is way better when it comes to striking. So.
Yeah. One question I have for you. I don't know if there was some news about this or whatever, but I haven't seen it. I looked for it. I haven't seen it. It seems like you've gone away from the Judo Thunder nickname. What's going on there?
Oh, the name?
Yeah, the Judo Thunder nickname. I love that nickname. What's going on with it?
Oh no, I haven't gotten away from that name. I still use the name. I just haven't like put it on my UFC as a nickname yet. But I still rock with that name.
Okay.
It's just a whole name that people call me with different kind of names and stuff like that. So but I haven't gone away from Judo Thunder. No, I
Good,
still
good, good. Because
still rock with
it seemed like the last fight. Like usually they mention that nickname, and it seems like the last fight on the broadcast, like it wasn't mentioned. I didn't see it anywhere, like written. I was like, what is going on here? Tell me he didn't go away from that. Because that's one,
No,
it's one of my favorite nicknames in all of combat sports. So please don't lose that one.
I will not. I will not. I will not. I think on my forms when it comes to nicknames, I didn't put it down on my
Gotcha.
last fights. I think that's why. But yeah, I'm not. I'm not. I'm still gonna rock that name.
Nice, nice. You said there were some other ones. What are some of the other ones though?
It's not some. I didn't give them to myself, but it's like people call me by that. Like the one the accidental assassin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I,
Accidental
I
assassin. I like it.
yeah, I kind of like that one too. So, but I just haven't. I've been rocking the Judo Thunder for a long time. So.
Hey, I think the more yeah. I mean, I would rock with Judo Thunder too. That's just it's like Afro Samurai or something. It's like one of those badass like nicknames. I think the more nicknames you have like that, the better it is. Though that means you got some serious juice working. So.
Yeah.
Sure. So we're sitting here. It is Sunday evening. The UFC St. Louis card is underway. What have you been watching the whole card so far, or what have you talked
Yeah,
about?
I've been watching all of it, but I have it right here. It's like I'm literally watching on my phone.
Yeah.
I haven't really. I only saw like one of the fight that just ended right now with the knockout. Pretty much, and then the one before that was the girls, but I didn't really pay attention much. So. You guys know who I'm waiting for, so that's pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
You ever get nervous watching teammates fight?
Who?
You said do you usually get nervous when you're watching your teammates fight, or?
Oh yeah, well,
nervous
I'm
excitement?
sure everybody does. Your hands will be sweating. You just waiting for them. You know that how good they are, and you know they're going to win. But no matter what, you're still gonna be nervous. And stuff like that. So yeah, I do get a little nervous though, but I believe in their abilities and stuff like that.
Speaking about ability, is like what we've seen from you so far in the cage. Like, is there anything that you haven't shown that you're working on in practice that you want to get a chance to show off?
He was on your game plan.
I'm not trying to get into game plans. I'm just saying, some guys say that where they're like, I've been working on these different little wrinkles here and there.
Yeah, I cannot reveal it, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff I've been used it in the cage, and hoping I will showcase all that kind of stuff that I practice a lot, but I just haven't had the chance to use it. Yeah.
Unlike my co-host, I'm not trying to get your game plan, but I do want to ask you a question. Did you watch last UFC 219?
I think I watched some of them. I didn't watch all of them though.
You watched the Neil Magny fight?
Yes, I watched a little bit of that.
Tell me this: why do not? Because I don't know if you people in this MMA game. I cover MMA and boxing. I see different styles. Why do people think getting hit is cool and entertaining? Me personally, I'm all about getting a W. Like Neil, he fought technically a boring fight to most people, but he did what he had to do. He didn't take no damage. He got his hand raised. Why don't more people do that? It seems like it makes too much sense that people don't do it because it makes too much sense.
I think a lot of people go with the fans too, because a lot of fans, when they see that kind of fight, they do not like it. And a lot of MMA fighters, some of them have, like, I'll say, I'll include myself, a lot of us have kind of anger issues. So when you get in there and you let your anger take over, you just want to destroy somebody's head. You don't want to have a boring fight and keep walking around. You just want to, I'm here to fight. Come stand in front of me. Let's trade and see who goes down. That kind of mentality in a way. So everybody is different.
So how's your mentality? Are you all about entertaining the fans? Or are you all about doing what you have to do to get your hand raised, regardless if it's a knockout or if it's just a boring decision, but you get that win and you don't take no.
No. I want to get my hand raised no matter what. That's the plan. But sometimes in the heat of the moment, it's not about the fans. For me, the fans will say anything because they're not in there in the gym with you. They don't know what you go through or what goes through, what's happening inside the fight. But at the same time, you do care about your fans and stuff like that. But I do not fight the way I fight because of the fans. I think for me, at the heat of the moment, it gets to the point that I just want to throw. I'm like, yeah, I just want to take someone's head off. I just need to calm down a little bit and start letting my anger take over. Because I'm the kind of person like when I'm in the fight and somebody hit me, I'm like, okay, game on, let's go. I don't have no breaks. I just want to keep going. That's what I need to,
So
step
you're
away
saying,
from.
so you're saying in between rounds, your corner kind of has to reel you back in a little bit.
Exactly. That's when my coaches will be like, "Yeah, calm down, yeah, take your time, But usually, just my blood keeps boiling. I just want to keep going. I was like, okay, if you want to hit me, let's go. Hit me. Let me hit you back. So let's see who goes down first.
So he said, "Let me hit you."
Right.
so who's somebody that you like to bang it out with that's in the division that you think would be who's two people that if you they say, hey, you got 2 more fights in this division other than fighting for the belt, who's 2 people you want to fight?
I would think one person that I feel like they will bang with me. I'm sure like the guy that Kamaru is fighting right now, Mick. I'm sure because I know he's a kind of a thrower too. Fight like that is always kind of good. So I wouldn't mind throwing down with him too. To throw some bombs there because I know he'll stand in front of me and throw with me too. And one person that doesn't fight anymore that I really like his fight and I really want to. He still fights, but I just haven't seen him a lot. Is Thiago Silva. Oh, Thiago Alves. I'm sorry, Thiago Alves. I really enjoy the way he fights because I feel like when I started watching UFC, I watch him a lot and I like the way he fights and the way he put his combination together. He'd be one person I would like to stand in front of him and trade with him a lot, and see how it goes.
Yeah. He was. I think he was supposed to fight on. Was it this card he's supposed to fight and then it got canceled? I believe.
No.
Recently.
I haven't seen him fight in a while.
Yeah, no doubt. It's crazy time though. I mean, looking back at last year and then this year, like a lot of big things happened like in combat sports. What was like one of the? You have a particular memory in the past year that kind of sticks out to you?
You mean this past year?
Yeah.
The only knockout that is in my head is Ngannou's last knockout.
Yeah.
Are you cool with him?
Oh yeah, he's my buddy. Yeah, we talk all the time. Yeah.
Hey, can you help us get him on the show? Let him know we support the brothers.
Right now he's too famous. I don't think he'll pay attention, but for sure I get. Well, I was seeing him in Detroit on Tuesday, so I'll probably tell him and see.
So let him know after the fight, we win or lose. We're trying to get him on. We ain't just trying to jump on because you get the belt. We're trying to support it regardless. For sure.
I'll go to Detroit on Tuesday. He'll be there on Tuesdays too. I'm sure we'll talk. I'll ask him and see what he says.
I'm gonna text you. You should have told me that.
I mean, yeah. Hey, we would love to have.
We produce the air up in this bit.
Yeah, we would love to have Francis on. And to be honest with you, I was kind of trying to set you up there, and I was hoping you would say Francis because it kind of leads me into my next question about the possibility of seeing the UFC take a trip over to Africa. Between you and him, there's a bunch of other fighters in the UFC right now that are on these streaks, man. It would make a lot of sense to go ahead and strike while the iron's hot, if you know what I mean. Kind of like what they're trying to do with Hawaii. Why not let's bring it on over to Africa?
For sure. But by God's grace, I know Ngannou is going to win. And I know when he has the belt and Kamaru also goes in there and destroys this guy, I know for sure they will plan on going to Africa. So we can show them how we rock in Africa because I I would love to be on that card, any card, wherever in Africa, because we know how our people support each other. We know how we love when it comes to fights, how it is. So I would love to see that too. And I know for sure if Ngannou wins this fight, there's a possibility of that happening.
So set it up for me. Where would be the spot that it should go down? Which country? Is there a particular arena that would work out best?
For me personally, I think if the UFC are going to do it, they'll probably go to somewhere like South Africa, because for them that's what they know, and a lot of people want to go there. I'm sure they were trying to host it in South Africa or somewhere, But some of us will also like in around West Africa, I don't care. Nigeria is a big place. They have a lot of people there, or even they might even want to host it in Ghana's backyard. But for me, I think they would choose. For me, what their mentality, I feel like they would choose someplace like South Africa.
Yeah, that's what our buddy Danny Austin, he took a trip to Africa last summer, and kind of suggesting the same thing.
Yeah,
and he absolutely fell in love on his trip there, and he talks about it to me all the time. But I think it'd be cool, man. I hope they do make it happen. I can't think of a better time to make UFC Africa happen. Especially if Francis comes out and then knocks out Stipe, and then it's just like, okay, let's keep that momentum and just strike right now.
Exactly. Because back home, like where I grew up, it's pretty much this is how it is. It's either you are a boxer or you are a soccer player. So we love to fight back home. So it's a kind of place that when two kids want to fight, they just put them on the street and be like, okay, here's a glove, fight each other. So when in Africa, when they see stuff like that, everybody want to watch, especially when it comes to a fight. People love to watch, and they'll be coming there with some of their drums. I really want that to happen because I know that will hype me up. Crazy.
Man, I wish the people could see the smile on your face when you're talking about that, man. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Has they never asked you anything? Would you be interested in anything, or like what if anybody with notoriety in the UFC?
Oh, you mean as in going to Africa?
Yeah.
You don't have to ask me if I'm interested. I'm in. It doesn't matter where it is in Africa. I'm in. Yeah, if they ask me, I'm in. I don't care who they want me to fight. As long as it's in Africa, when they tell me I'm down, I'm going to fight.
You fight Francis?
Not for me, but
anybody 170?
Yeah, if he can come to 170, then yeah, maybe we can.
How much are you a guy that cuts a lot of weight? I don't think I've heard much about you and your weight cuts.
Yeah, I do. It depends on how heavy I am before I get the fight. I usually cut between, I would say, maybe 22 pounds to 23 pounds. The highest would be at least 25, I would say.
Like, how much do you usually come in on fight week?
Fight week, I'll go in between maybe 14 to 15 pounds.
Yeah. Crazy, man. I'm a big, like, it. All the listeners to our show know how much I hate weight cutting. I think it's pointless. Like you and your opponent are sitting on the couch, right now. Y'all are both weighing like what, 190, 200 pounds. Y'all are both going to go fight a scale and then go show up in the ring at the same weight again. Like, why are we doing that one step for the scale? I don't get it.
I used to not cut a lot of weight. I used to, walk light, and then after weighing in, I cannot gain the weight back.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot gain a lot of weight, so I started to change my process, so I don't have to go into light. So that's why. But a lot of people like the mentality of being heavier when they get in the ring in the fight day. So that's why a lot of people leave themselves be very heavy. So on fight day, they can feel like they're big. It gives them more confidence about themselves and stuff like that.
And I think that's all a little. I mean, I get the whole mentality behind it. You're bigger, you're gonna have more advantage, especially like in the clinch and stuff. But I think it's a little overhyped, man. I think you want to go in there feeling better, like have your body feeling better, not deplete yourself.
Sure.
Beforehand.
But I feel like if there's no weight class, then
No, I think there should definitely still be weight classes, but I'm just saying, like, maybe let's look at different regulations around it, making sure guys aren't cutting like 30 pounds and something like, on fight week. You know, like the thing with Uriah was supposed to fight tonight.
Crazy.
And then everybody's saying how scary of a scene it was because his kidney shut down on him and everything like that. And, you know, stuff like that, man.
Oh, yeah, he was supposed to fight on this card. Is he not fighting anymore?
No, he got pulled off. He didn't even weigh in.
Oh, yeah.
They said he was a pound off, and then his body just like shut down on him.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, not a good look, man. I'm just saying, you know, I get the whole mentality, but I don't want to see any of you guys get seriously hurt just fighting a scale, you know.
I think what they can do to help is they need to tell the fighters the day of the check-in day that there's a certain weight you're supposed to hit by the time we come to that check-in, and I think that will help fighters not cut too much. Because if you give a fighter, you tell him, hey, on the fight week, we want you to come in and at 78 or something like that, and the doctor's gonna check, make sure you haven't lost too much water at that time before coming in. If you have, you know, stop the fight. I think a lot of fighters will start thinking, I don't have to get too heavy off season. So I still stay close to my weight. But since they don't have none of that, you know, it's hard to. People love to eat, so you know, like, yeah.
Final question for me, my man. If you want to get in the ring and get a crazy something out of another, you get a shot at Tyron Woodley. How do you stack up with that, and how do you find a way to get your hand raised?
Oh, Tyron?
Yeah, Tyron.
You know, Tyron, I feel like he's a caution fighter. You know, like he doesn't fight fast pace. He takes his time, and then boom, throws a big punch. You know, one punch. I know I will fare very well with him because I know I'm going to bring the fight with him, to him. No matter where he goes, I'm going to chase him and start throwing. So I'm sure he's going to go back and throw with me too, and that's going to be where I want to be.
Nice. Yeah, that'd be pretty exciting. I mean, Tyron's got a bad rap like over his past couple of fights, you know, because of Damian Maia fight, the two Thompson fights, but you know, he does swing on it. Like if he's an opening,
but I don't blame him though. I don't blame him the way he fights. You know, he's being smarter. The longer he's fighting, the much smarter he's being. And also, when you have the belt, you make a lot of money. If you don't want to put yourself in a lot of danger and you can still win the fight, who wouldn't do that? You know, some of us, we have a lot of pride. So we want to fight in a way that when we come out, we are proud of ourselves in a way because of that pride. But some people can put that pride aside and win the fight, you know? So for him, that's what he's doing. He's doing what he has to do to win the fight and come home and still have the belt as a champion. So I do not blame him for that.
Big paychecks coming in, right?
It's true. Exactly. Because when you have the belt, you get more money. That's how you make more money.
Yeah, man. It's a tough game, man. It's a tough game. Especially when you get up there, you got to figure out, change it up or just keep going with what we got.
True.
You know?
True. Yeah, he's been smart. Like you can watch his old fights and you can watch the fights that he has now. You can see that he's being smarter and trying to stay a champion. You know, I don't blame him for that.
So we're gonna see you in a title fight this year, right?
By God's grace. That's,
Absolutely.
you know, everything goes through God. So if he says it's my time, for sure, I know I'll be there.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for your time, man. We'll be pulling for you next week. Hey, if you ball, you get the call, so you get that win. I will be hitting you up.
For sure, anytime. Just hit me up.
All right, man.
Steve and I were talking about you too. It's like, hey, he's a cool dude, you know. So
see, listeners, look at that. They like us,
right?
For sure. And don't worry, I'll bring your name up to Francis on Tuesday when I see him and see what he said.
Beautiful. Look forward to it. I appreciate the time, man. We'll let you enjoy the rest of UFC St. Louis. I know Kamaru's fight's coming up here in just a few minutes, so, man, enjoy. Best of luck to Kamaru. Best of luck to you at UFC 220.
And I'll be hitting you up during the week, man.
No problem. Anytime.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Welcome to the Slip and Dip podcast. Once again, the trainer of stars, Trevor Wittman, trainer of UFC, strawweight queen, Rose Namajunas, and UFC superstar Justin Gaethje. You've had a hell of a 2017, man. You need your little break to kick off this year.
Yeah, it's been a good year, man. I'm blessed to be able to work with my friends.
How how the fact that y'all pulled off the upset of the year, but it like we talked to you before. I talked to you during fight week. It's like what y'all thought was gonna happen happened. So how come we didn't see all that? And we watch fights for a living. I'm not surprised that she won, to put it honestly. But whatchamacallit, I was surprised how it happened.
Yeah.
Well, did y'all know that y'all could get her out of there like that?
The thing is you just go in there with a game plan and you just hope to perform. And, this is a fight game, so things can happen. And I feel in that fight, 20 seconds into it, I got really relaxed once I seen Rose's position. I've always said that I thought Rose's position and striking style from range was the best in her division. And you could really see her come to really understand how to keep someone, wanting to throw shots where they think that you're there, but you're not there. And Rose did a real good job of keeping her off balance with angles, but also allowing her feet to get closer as her head still stayed at range. I was really impressed with that.
How did you install the comments in there? Because, I was there live at the Garden, because when she caught her with that left and she dropped her, it's like y'all knew something that we didn't know, because as we all know, when she walked up on her again, that was all she wrote. She had bad intentions. It was like that jab that dropped Joanna was just like a tease, and then she had bad intentions and got out of there the second time.
Yeah, it was, I felt like a lot of the pre-fight built up to that. Joanna is known, people are calling her a bully and stuff like this. I want to consider that you're in a fight game, but she's a girl that needs to be in control. And if you notice all of her weigh-ins, she has to get into the opponent's head. And that was one of our main strategies going into the fight is you're not facing her, you're facing yourself. So whatever she's doing, don't let her control you and stay in your own mind. And every time that she faced off with her, I felt like Joanna was getting more angry and trying to get a response from Rose. And I feel like that reacted against Joanna and really played into the part of the fight, because I felt like all the fights that she's faced girls before, she gets them pissed off, she gets them angry, and she needs you to be angry to fight her. And all the opponents that she's faced prior in the UFC have been aggressive fighters, girls who are trying to come at her and trying to get her to the floor. And Rose I didn't feel needed to get her to the floor. I felt like we just needed to get her feeling like she can box and kickbox from the outside with her bouncy step. Rose is, to me, too fast.
Sound like you're confident in a rematch.
Yeah, the rematch, I feel the same way. I don't feel like anything's going to change. And again, I was comfortable the first 20 seconds in. Once I see the fighting's about position, and I felt like Rose outclassed her in position. I didn't feel like it would be that easy. But again, Joanna is a girl that needs someone coming at her and changing levels and coming straight at her. One thing that Rose doesn't do is come straight at you. She gets you out balanced, and she picks the right timing, and she's very good at off-beating stuff.
Yeah, I will agree with you 100%. Like you said, like the first few seconds in there, yeah, I think it was after Rose landed that first clean combination. I was like, oh, and then the fact that Joanna she seemed a little stunned by it, and I was like, wow, this is really going to happen if she keeps landing like that. And then, just fast forward a couple of minutes later, it's like world is completely turned upside down in the strawweight division, and it took everybody by surprise. But really, as the fight started to play out so cleanly, you could see the differences, I think, in the timing, but between the two, and that's saying a lot because everybody touts Joanna as the best striker out there in amongst the females.
It's another thing too is styles make fights. It's again, that's why I'm so comfortable going into a rematch with her. I mean, we're never going to be comfortable or relaxing, but styles make fights, and Joanna can be dominant against so many different styles. I just feel like that style is a bad matchup for Joanna. Joanna needs that aggressive style that's coming straight at her, and she's always going to look good. But she's a pick and mover. She's not a girl who really sits down on her punches. She throws combinations. So if you throw combinations, you have to be set with your feet. And when you come in and you reach, she's very good at counter striking and popping and moving. And I feel like the 4 fights prior to our fight with Joanna really helped breed that fight into our fight. So again, styles make fights, and the one thing in MMA is it's very hard to hold a position for a long period of time. And the one thing I just try to install with my athletes is you're no different when you get a championship. So, enjoy the ride, but make sure you're focused on yourself and never get comfortable on that sense of you're the baddest motherfucker on this planet, because there's always someone that can beat you.
No doubt, no doubt. I wanted to ask you a little bit about the pre-fight antics real quick. So did Rose speak to you or, kind of mention hey, during their stare down, I'm just going to say the Lord's Prayer. That was one of the craziest moments.
Not at all.
That whole thing was kind of surreal.
One thing that stands out to me with Rose is is very, very cool and calm at all the weigh-ins. She's very, just almost got that numbness to her. But Rose is the truest when it comes to telling her feelings. I mean, every time that we faced off with her, she was scared. Every time that, I would say every prior time to facing off with her, whether it was the press conference or the weigh-ins, she was nervous. And but once she got in front of her, things happen. I mean, Rose is one of those girls that she's so true with her feelings. She reminds me of George St. Pierre. George St. Pierre was always so upfront about how he'd be like, I don't know why I signed the fucking contract. I fucking hate this shit. And he'd always be just straight up with it. Like, I'd never fucking do this again. What the fuck? But once it's time to shine, I mean, he would run himself to the cage and get in there. And fear is one of the most powerful things that you can have on your side. And it's funny because everybody shares different emotions. Like a Justin Gaethje, he has no fear. He's a guy who just enjoys just chaos. Rose is a girl who she fears this. I mean, she came from a mental health issue, and she's very scared every time she fights. But when she gets in there, once she loosens up, I want to say every time she gets in there. I've seen times in fights where she's not been comfortable. I remember when we were fighting Tisha Torres and she threw the kick and fell on her ass because she kicked over her head. That's a spot in the fight where all of a sudden you see her completely relax and she turns into Rose, where she becomes completely dominant. A lot of times people put pressure on themselves to do so good, but when they let go and realize that they're in the moment, then that's the key. And Rose that night went in. She was scared. Once she moved with her a little bit, there was nothing but task at hand, and she handled it very, very well.
Trevor, would it be safe to say we're in the Namajunas era of strawweightness?
I mean, again, that Rose is talented. She's a pleasure to watch. I mean, she's an athlete. She makes it look good. She's got a very good style to what she does. I would say the coolest thing about being able to coach and be a part of this Rose era, if that's what you want to call it, I feel like she's something that's very marketable and fun to watch because she looks weak. She doesn't look tough. She doesn't have a physique of a super strong person. And then she speaks love and kindness and she's so true with her feelings. I feel like it's been a very cool time to see what she did. I told her fight was brilliant. The techniques that she did in there and what she did that night was brilliant, but what she said afterwards was tenfold on what she could ever do in the ring. And it all comes through inspiration and pushing her purpose, which is love and peace and keep martial arts, and we'll smash the shit out of each other when we're in here. But on the outside, that from the old boxing days is try to get in your head and make you not sleep at night.
How many fighters have come up to
promotion.
You?
What's that?
How many fighters have come up to you that want you to train them now off of this win? Like, they probably like, oh, I know Trevor's good, but then they see what you done last year with Justin and Rose. They're like, hey, man, I'll give you X amount of dollars, man. Be my guy. Help me get to that level. You got fighters reaching out to you like that want some of that Wittman magic?
No, I haven't had one athlete reach out to me. Most of the people in the connection kind of know that I'm not coaching or taking on any more athletes. I will never go above 4 athletes. I'm down to 3 right now because Nate just retired. But a lot of people had asked me prior to those fights, and were asking me consistently, but it's pretty much well known that I'm focusing on Onyx right now, and I will always coach, but it'll be anywhere from 2 to 4 athletes because it's fun for me. I'm able to give them 100%, and I think a lot of people know that. That's why I haven't been asked, but prior to that, yes.
Trevor, I want to ask you a little bit about Justin. The fight with Eddie obviously didn't go his way, but it seemed like he was almost believed in a way to finally meet that guy that could get him out of there. I mean,
the funny thing is you said that it did go his way, and the one thing is that's why it's not going to affect him. It's not going to bother him. Justin Gaethje is not going out there to score points. I tell you, if we would have lost the decision, if Eddie was able to get through that round, he probably would have won the decision. I felt like if it was a 5-round fight, we were on the verge of stopping him. Outside of Eddie came up with a great knee that landed on the spot. But I felt like that was because Justin got too relaxed. But that's what Justin wants. He does not care about his record. Even though he's undefeated at that point, and now he has 1 loss, that is not why Justin Gaethje fights. He fights to be the most entertaining fighter. He's the fight of the year and runner-up. That's all he cares about. And he's not going to fight till he's 40. He has a plan on only so many fights left. I'm not going to say that number because that's his plan. And if he wants to speak about that, he can. But Justin Gaethje is out there to put on a fight every time he fights. And we were hanging out with Eddie in the hospital, and Eddie's an awesome person, an awesome fighter. And to be able to be in there and share that with those 2 guys who are friends, it reminds me of Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward. After their first fight, they became very, very good friends. And they ended up fighting again twice. And for 2 guys that can go out there and have much respect for each other and love for each other, go out there, put that on for the fans, I mean, it made me proud. Again, purpose is key. Justin Gaethje is out there to make fans say his name over and over.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite fights of the year for sure. And I kind of want to ask you, like you kind of mentioned in there about, he has a plan of when he wants to get out of there. And I know you don't want to reveal that, but you being his coach and his friend, like how hard are you going to hold him to that number since he's, shared that info with you?
It's I'm never going to tell him, hey, this is what your plan was. But the thing is I speak purpose and I speak what is your plan all the time. I mean, plans adjust at all times. But as long as he's staying consistent on what he's doing and staying close to the plan, that's key. A lot of people talk about him taking damage. In that fight, he really did not take much damage. We've been more damaged in fights prior to that. He wasn't concussed. He didn't lose any memory. There's been times where we can't do things for 2 or 3 weeks. He was up snowboarding that Thursday, so it wasn't really a rough fight for him at all. Palomino fights were a little bit more rough. There was a concussed moment at that fight. So to me, it's who he is, and the main thing is I want to make sure he's healthy. But man, he's doing what he's doing. He's loving it. He's having a blast, and he's sticking to his purpose. So it's great.
You kind of alluded to on the boxing analogy with the Ward Gotti. Were they cool on the show? Because they didn't see that much drama on the show when they were coaching.
Not at all. We were cool, man. Eddie's really cool. I have mad respect for Mark Henry. Henry's one of my good friends, so we enjoyed it. I mean, there's no drama on the show because there wasn't drama, so they weren't able to show any of that. I would say the only dramatic part was when Justin had to pay him $5,000 for the swimming thing. So I think that hurt Justin more than anything. But that was one of those things he got himself into, something that he thought he could dominate Eddie in any area, and then they showed him the swimming pool, and it was almost like Justin instantly gave up. I was like, man, I can't swim. I mean, I wouldn't even have jumped in the pool, to be honest with you. I used to swim, and that's a long way to swim if you're not in shape.
Do you think Eddie's experience was the difference? I know you said the knee. You think that's his experience with them having a little bit more experience than Justin?
Oh yeah, Eddie's experience is great. I mean, he's the one thing that made Eddie just amazing in that fight was him to hold his ground, and he was very good at the body punching, which again that shelled Gaethje up where he wasn't countering back. So that was a very, very good part in their game plan. And, I mean, the main thing I give credit to Eddie was I mean, you could see the leg kicks were affecting him so bad, and him getting back up after being dropped from a low kick and knowing that he still had 3 minutes left in the fight. I mean, that, if anybody's ever taken a low kick that's damaging, that is, to me, takes more courage than anything. You get hit in the head, and it's like taking a shot of whiskey. It makes you want to fight harder. When you're getting beat up to the legs like that, I mean, it's just, I just give so much credit to him and his heart.
Amazing. It's amazing. Of course, we're recording this on a Sunday night. We got the UFC St. Louis card. They just showed Rose on the screen there sitting next to Brian Ortega. It seems like she's having a good time out there. So have you and her kind of, done anything, or, what's it been like post-fight? We're in the championship status. Has there been anything behind the scenes going on? I guess like kind
nothing.
of
I mean, Rose has made me so proud. She has not done anything different. The coolest part, I went over to their apartment they had, and she got some curtains, and that's what she got. So she's not a girl that's going to go out and spend money and be crazy. I mean, it was just really cool to see her just get right back to it. She was helping JJ Aldridge out, and she looked really good tonight. So
yeah, she did.
I mean, she just got right back to it, stayed the same person, and wasn't carrying the belt around everywhere. That belt is completely material. And it's champions, when they become champions, you'll see a lot of them who become like this power figure, like they got to walk around with the dominance. And Rose, to me, to be able to go out there and fight Joanna and have all that credibility on the line and still stay grounded, that's a true essence of success. You're chasing success for yourself, not for others. And if you can inspire people through your success, then that's key in life.
What do you think about the call? I know people like Matt, because I was in the arena, as you know. I was like watching it, like I had my holy shit moment of my first time to go to UFC and see something crazy in person. But everybody was talking about the call. Have you heard that call?
Which call?
John Anik and Daniel Cormier and them. Thug Rose!
Oh yeah, that's awesome. It was, I could hear them because they were pretty close to where our corner was.
Oh, you heard it live? Awesome. I was going?
Yeah, you could hear Daniel over there, and I walked over to him and gave him a little look, gave him a handshake, and he was really excited about the way Rose was at the weigh-in, so I went over and talked to him afterwards. But yeah, their excitement was cool.
Yeah, it really like encapsulated the entire moment, knowing Rose's whole story and all of the build up, the animosity that went on during fight week, everything, and then that kind of put the cherry on top for me. And then of course, obviously seeing Rose in the post fight, in the post fight interview and the interviews backstage, she just seemed so cool. It was just like, like you kind of said earlier, like she got the belt and nothing's really changed. It really shows you what type of person she is. Like there's no putting on with
That's
her.
Inspiring. That's inspiring. It's there's people forget. You become a champion, and there's thousands of people that have helped you get to that moment. There's thousands of conversations that have helped you get to that moment. There's thousands of business people who are involved in the industry that have helped you get to that moment. And it's funny when you'll see some of these champions come out and they hold the belt, and all of a sudden they start running everything. And it's, to me, I think it's bad for the sport. I mean, it's great for promotion, it's great for people to watch, but it eats people up in the sport. I mean, for instance, Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey is an amazing person, and the way they promoted her into falling the way she fell, that's hard for me to watch. And that's one thing I try to do with my athletes, is just let them know that, hey, when you're on top, you're on top. But again, if you don't stop walking, you need to walk back down this hill and look for another hill to climb. And if you think you're going to stay on top of this hill, you stop walking, and that's where education and growth and health stops growing. And that's the hardest thing for me in this business. I've been doing it for a long time, is to be able to see the greats, enjoying the great moments and enjoying what is great, but it's only for a spot. And when that all goes away, how do they handle how their life is? And it's almost like it becomes a rush or a need. And when you don't look at it for a need, you're just looking for the next, and you're okay with where you're at. That's the key to just enjoying the process and not putting too much weight on your shoulders, and making an opportunity for a downfall.
And yeah, that's so spot on. Everything you just said there, it's so accurate, man. and that's why it's important for guys to have coaches like you who actually sit with them and have those conversations and make sure that they got their head on in the right way.
The fights are fun. They're exciting, but it's the journey. It's the continuous hours grinding away. It's funny. I remember when Shane Carwin had beat Mir for the interim belt, and we ended up. He had an appearance in Jersey or in New York. We were fighting in Jersey, and it was for $5,000. And he's like, "Coach, I don't want to go to that shit." And I was like, "Cool, I'm going to it, man. It's up to you." And he's like, "Let's just get some beers." So we ended up drinking some beers and doing some stupid stuff like I forget what you call it. I think it's a shotgun where you poke a hole in the beer.
Oh yeah.
I was doing some shit with him that's just like you do in high school. And we drank beers all night. And I'll never forget in the airport the next day, he's got to take his belt out because that security are like, what is in there? We got to see it. So I take the belt out and he looks at me and he's got sunglasses on and he goes, "Coach, I'm a champ and I'm still getting hungover." And I'll never forget that comment. I'll never forget that comment. I looked at him. I was like, "Yeah, you're still a human." And that's again, it's when you're on top, you're on top, but everything's still the same.
Other than beating Joanna again and getting some more wins with Gaethje, what's on your agenda for 2018?
Just really to bring to bring a line of gear out that would benefit every athlete that's out there challenging themselves, whether you're in the gym training and wanting to be the best at what you want to do. I want to provide a type of gear that will help you perform better, help protect you, and help you feel like a champion, because the key is feeling. If you feel good, you perform good. So I feel like I'm swarmed in an industry full of knocked off equipment, and everybody's building brands. And everybody's focused on the look and just making cool logos and the way it looks. And there's so many injuries in the sport and injuries in the fight. But the most important things are the injuries that are happening in training. And my experience as a coach, I want to be able to better the industry that's changed my life and to helping everybody chase their goals.
And of course, you're talking about the
Onyx. So that's Onyx.
The Onyx brand, onxsports.com. Go check it out, guys. It's a pretty cool website. And there's some pretty cool stuff on there, man. And you can really tell that there is some attention to detail when it comes to like the quality and the build of these. So
yeah, we've spent 5 years in testing and just understanding the manufacturing process. I've done it all myself from my basement, from sewing my own patterns, and now we'll be launching a full line of products here in March. And we also got some really big news coming up, but I can't really talk about it. But again, I think we're on the next steps to really help this industry grow.
Well, whenever you're ready to break that news, we'd be glad to have you back on and talk about it.
I will let you know. You guys will be the first, because you guys have been so patient with me.
I appreciate it.
I am a busy dude, and I'll tell you, Kendrick, thank you so much for always being there and having my back, because, again, I'm the last person to do interviews about my athletes. I really just don't I want to say I don't like to do interviews. Again, I feel like it's about them. And I'm just a person who plants seeds. It's up to them to really work on the soil and make it come to fruition. So I really don't do interviews, but I appreciate you guys always wanting to have me on and being patient with me, because I'm a busy dude.
Hey man, hey, you one of the best guys in the game, less known trainers, and can you help us get them on there, man? We're on their team. We're trying to get the Roses in the Gaethje. Tell them we just need 10-15 minutes of their time, because when we talk, we both interact with both of them. We got great interactions with them. But Pat's the man. I just need to get on the show.
Is.
15 minutes.
Hey, seeing Pat tonight in the corner with JJ. I don't know if you guys got to see the fight with JJ tonight.
I saw it,
she looked amazing. Man, JJ has grown so much. It's so awesome to see her fight.
Yeah,
she is so talented.
She looked incredible tonight. She really did.
Yeah, her balance and her positioning just looked phenomenal. I was so impressed.
Absolutely, man.
Can you help us get the champ on the show? So we say 15 minutes.
Oh, definitely. It's funny because she's very similar to me. She barely does any interviews. Also, I mean, it's it's one of those things that when you hit that championship, a lot of people want to hit that ride. But I know it's uncomfortable for her to do interviews where she's talking about things she doesn't want to talk about. She's very purposeful. So it's if she's pushing some good cause towards something, dude, she's the easiest person to get on the phone. So. I will get her on the phone with you guys. Make sure you guys ask questions about what she wants to help out. I'm sure she will talk forever.
Okay, that's good, man. Hey, vouch for the slip and dip. We're trying to grow the show up in here.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I'm just I appreciate being a part of it. I really like this part. I enjoyed my last interview with you guys.
Thank you. We enjoyed it too, man. We appreciate the time, and don't sell yourself short, man. You give great interviews, and it's nice to talk with you, talk this fight game, and things that we enjoy. So it's pretty cool, man.
What question before we get out of here? Who you got in the main event on Saturday? Ngannou or the champ?
You know what? Man, how can you not go with Francis? But I can't say I'm going to go with Francis. He's a machine. Like everything about that guy, I love everything about him. The only thing is I know Stipe personally, so I had the opportunity to work with him only for 1 week as he came out to spar with a couple of our guys a long time ago. I mean, this was when Shane was still fighting, and he is just one of the most humble guys you'll ever just be around, and he stayed true to himself. He still is a fireman. I mean, I like Stipe. He always finds a way. So I'm going to go with Stipe. But Francis, I think, is the next generation. I mean, he is. I can't believe how talented that guy is. He's also a great person. I've shared the locker room with him a couple times, and very humble. And but Stipe, I'm going to go with Stipe because I love him, and I just know him personally.
Beautiful. That's it. Can't wait to see it play out, man. It's going to be a hell of a fight, hell of an atmosphere. That's definitely a big fight to get the year started in 2018, man. So. Yeah,
no doubt. That's definitely a year starter.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Trevor, man, we'll let you enjoy the rest of your evening. Of course, look forward to talking to you again soon whenever you get the Onyx news ready. And, enjoy the rest of the UFC St. Louis and, of course, all the fights next week as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you again, Kendrick. Thank you for your patience, bro. And I always love being on your show.
I appreciate it, man.
Ken Johnson with Errol Spence, IBF welterweight champion of the world. How's it feel to be on this big stage yet again?
Oh, I feel great. I mean, this is what you train hard, this is what you work hard for. I mean, this is what, I worked my whole boxing life for, is to be on this stage and be on this top stage. So, I mean, I love it, man.
What's your take on Keith Thurman talking about he need tune-up fights before he see you, and then he going to fight you on his time as if he's the A-side?
I think, him getting a tune-up fight, nothing wrong with that. I mean, he's been off the layoff, he just had surgery. I see him having a tune-up fight, nothing wrong with that at all. But, him fighting on my terms, it is what it is. Prayer list will say anything. So, what he think and what I think are two different things. So,
What about him saying that you never seen a fighter of his caliber and that you're not ready to be in the ring with him?
Like I said, the prayer list will tell you anything. All I can tell you about that, he's real confident. He's on himself, he's on the business. So, if he had confident, I'm deserve to be in the ring with him. It'd be easy money for him. So, apparently not that confident if he keep on prolonging what me and him got going on.
How's it feel the fact that you ain't have to say nothing now, and you got fans throwing your name in conversations like I've been doing for the last 3 years? You don't even have to worry about it. Like people told you got you hooked up with Keith, they got you hooked up with Bud Crawford. How's that feel the people got you linked up and want to see those fights?
It's great. That's what I'm supposed to be. This is what we train hard for. This is what I work hard for. Is to be in discussions with the top fighters in the sport, and that's where I'm at now. Now the objective is just stay there, stay focused, stay hungry, keep proving people right, keep proving other people wrong.
Who do you think would be the tougher fight for you, Bud or Keith?
I don't know. They both have two different styles. Keith is a guy who like to counter, like to who like to fight on the move. Terrence is a guy who can move, but he like to stay there a little bit more and plant his feet. So it's two different fights, man. I couldn't tell you that just off the bat.
What chances does Lamont pose for you, being that he's a veteran guy, former champion?
Just experience. His experience. He's hungry. He's a little bit older, so it's like one of his last, his last hurrah. So I don't think he's taking it for granted at all. He's training his ass off.
Do you feel that? Are you cool with just getting your hand raised, or do you feel you have to put on a show with you having the big stage, being the headliner, and everything like that in your first title defense, or just all about retaining that belt and getting your hand raised?
With me, it's all about having dominant performance. I want a dominant performance. I want to look great. I want everybody, talk about this fight after the fight. So, that's what I got to do, man. I got to look great. I got to put on a great one-sided performance.
So, what can respect to it? If you were Rusty and you did what you did to Kel, now that we see you, you look sharp as hell in them bags. What can we expect on January 20th?
Well, like I say, you expect me being sharp. The same old Errol Spence, just a lot sharper, a lot faster, quicker, stronger, things like that.
How you dealing with the layoffs? We know you like to fight like every 3 to 4 months. How you dealing with these longer layoffs now that you got the belt and you kind of like climbing up you at the ladder, but now you like looking down, still looking up?
It's kind of hard, but I spend the time being with my kids, man. Hanging out with my kids, being with my family, and just trying to spend time with them and enjoy my moments with them and things like that. But it's kind of hard. I would like to be in the ring every 4 months, so like that. Fight 3 times this year, but hopefully it happens. If you don't, then I'll be disappointed.
How's your life changed since you became a champion? Because I'm seeing you at Maverick games, Cowboy games. You get shout outs just by beating there. You and Derrick are like superstars when around here in Dallas. How's your life changed like that?
That's the only thing that changed is the notoriety. Everything else still the same. I still drive the same car. Still do the same thing, still got the same friends. Nothing really changed, just the notoriety, man. Just people noticing me and things like that. It's still the same old things with me.
And I know you talk about being a role model. I just feel the fact that people are looking up to you more and more and seeing the positive things you're doing in the African American male community and being a positive role model.
That's what it's all about. It's all about giving back. And, once you have the resources to give back and do things for your community, for people, you do it. So that's the main thing with me, especially being a role model. You got kids coming up. Like with me, I didn't have any professional boxers that was in Dallas that that I really could just look up to or learn from and things like that. So for me, it's a good thing for me being in the gym, like with guys like Burley and watching me and them getting to learn from me, because I ain't had no things where I had, I could just learn from a professional fighter and see how he trained and see how he spars, see the things he do in the gym. I had to get on YouTube and things like that. So, it's a lot easier for them being a professional fighter.
And final question for me, can you give your friends a message and why they should watch January 20th?
Why they should watch January 20th? They ever see me fight before. They know I'm never involved in fights. Even if it's one side, it's going to be an action-packed fight. So make sure you turn in January 20th. It's going to be a hell of a fight. Put on a hell of a performance. It's going to be a hell of a one-sided performance. So make sure you tune in January 20th on Showtime.
That's the man right there, IBF World Champion Errol Spence, who will be taking on Lamont Peterson this Saturday night at Barclays Center. Please welcome to the Slip and Dip podcast, the man that will be training the man getting in the squirrel circle, and the 2017 Trainer of the Year, Mr. Derrick James. Derrick, thanks for joining us on Fight Week, man. I was in the gym the other day, man. Y'all look like y'all ready to defend that strap next Saturday.
Yeah, man, we ready, man. It's been a long road, long, hard road. And, it's a lot of work, but we're ready to get the work in and do what we do, man.
How's it feel, the fact that people are coming to y'all now? It went from, we don't know if Errol Spence is that good. We don't know if Derrick James is that good of a trainer, to now that he's looked at as one of the top 5 fighters in the world, and you're officially looked at as the best trainer in the world, at least for the best trainer in 2017. How's the fact that y'all success is kind of going hand in hand, and people are getting y'all the respect that y'all do?
Well, I think it's a good deal. I think at the same time, you can't really go too far into it. We just got to stay focused on what we're doing, man. And, the accolades all come. We can't focus on getting them because you lose sight of what you really want to do. So our whole goal is to go out there and be the best we can be, fight the good fight, whatever it is, strategize and be the best. And that's what it is. So that's what we like to try to focus on.
What challenges other than experiences Lamont? For Lamont to be a former champion, people in the boxing game are counting him out, man. It's kind of crazy.
Well, I think that people just are so much higher on Errol than they are on Lamont. I think basically probably what it is. But Lamont's a tough fighter, man. He's a true warrior. He's a real fighter. he's been a champ before, and but I just think that they look at it arrows, as they're looking at the new young guy, and that's kind of basically what it is. I mean, people always are disrespectful and all that assessment. I just always sit back and say, let the fight happen, and I don't go into it whether it's my guy or not or any other assessment other than I just want to watch the true fan and don't try to implement my own ideas of who I think is going to win. I just sit back and, as a fan, just watch it. And that's really kind of that's how people are not, taking Lamont Peterson serious. But I mean, it's okay.
So Derrick, I want to ask you, man, how does it feel, to be get that name of the Trainer of the Year, have that associated with everything that happened with you in 2017?
I think it's good, man. I feel great about it. I never got into it knowing or even thinking that was possible. Not even really. I just focused on my guys and myself. Not so much about the Trainer of the Year. And and fans started to say it, people started to say it, and you started to kind of think maybe it's possible. But you still I had to stay focused on my situation and being better for my guys and try to be a better trainer. And, hey, man, it happened. I mean, people started talking about it. The word was out, and it happened. I'm happy about it. I just got to keep moving. I can't just be settled with this. And my focus is never really this, and it won't be this again. I mean, it's just going to keep working. And like people have told me that my work has did everything I needed to do. And so it's good. I'm not going to focus on it. I'm going to keep pushing ahead, try to keep my guys on top of their game plan and keep them doing what they do best.
How many people have hit you up in the boxing game that want to come to Dallas and train with you because of your success over the last few months?
Well, it's not so much about this last few months. People have always kind of hit me up, and ask me. And I was just always say, I'm not the guy who's I'm not trying to get $99 million a year or whatever on, all the guys. I want my focus is to be truly committed to the guys that I've given my word to, that I would help them. And I mean, it could be possible that I could possibly train one more guy, maybe even two, but I'm not going to stress myself out so far because my deal is that I want to be everything I said I can do for these guys. And if I tell them I want to help you and whatever, I have to be the guy. I can't bring in somebody new to take Errol's spot or Jamel's spot or Robert's spot, you know what I mean? So, or take up their time. So I just make sure I don't get too many people, man. It's not so much about that. It is about having quality guys.
Yeah, we had MMA trainer and boxing trainer, actually, Trevor Wittman on also tonight. And, he talks about having he's very set in a number of people that he'll train. And, being the trainer of the year, is that, what is the fine point of, having the number of people versus you studying the game and keeping your eye on everything that's kind of changing and what may be new? Where's that fine line to, make that the perfect, I guess, training scenario for you to be successful at that highest level?
Well, what's funny, I think that the perfect scenario is right now. Everything is going on right now. I mean, if somebody else comes in new and, if just everything is right, it works out, that's a possibility. But the perfect scenario for me is right now. I mean, I'm living it. And I'm talking to you guys about something, so something's going good, something's going right, and I'm really, really happy about it. So if anything can get any better than this, man, I don't know. You tell me.
I appreciate that.
What do you think, just in general, how many we have real conversations. There's two things. Just like, it was like 2.5 years ago, it was me and your guy from the Dallas magazine, yourself and Earl in the gym. And this week, we was a full about 50, 60 people. How's it crazy how that's changed in just 2.5 years? And what do you think about these boxing people that get into these, I won't say conspiracy theories, but does it bother you the fact that they kind of jump the gun and don't let stuff play out?
Hey, you know what? I would say it had before, but with maturity and understanding of you can't control people's thoughts and actions. You know what I mean? Like, they had Kell Brook beating Errol Spence, and everything else before the fight wasn't going to happen. So it's like you kind of just got to learn how not to get caught up into it, because if you do, man, you're lost. Because, I mean, there's no way to fight. My mother, who I always say, if two people across the street arguing, nobody would know who the fool was. So you just gotta kind of, hey, let it play out, man, and just be smart enough to not get so engulfed in it. We want great fights. We want all these things, but the truth about it, these fights are going to happen. So, I mean, just people, let's let it play out.
You know me, I know how the game goes. I just laugh at these people that act like they have these insightful questions when all they doing is basically speculating. And, well, he said this on Twitter. He said this in a YouTube video. It's like, y'all know the game. Y'all know they have to see each other. We've known that since 2015. Stop all the nonsense. And especially if y'all got a strap, they got to come see you. We all know that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And then, but what trips me out is the real fight that nobody talks about is y'all seeing somebody like Canelo or somebody 2-3 years down the road, because I keep telling everybody that will be the money fight in 2 or 3 years here in Dallas. Nobody talks about that though.
Yeah. But because it's not. They would rather bring up some asinine assumption about what they think may happen, opposed to that's a probable fight. Or they say, what do you think this guy would do against you? Man, come on, man. You have better things to do. Man, we're just gonna play with it. Dude, no, find something really real. I mean, go spend time with your kids, your family, come on, that's crazy, man. I don't get it, but hey, I'm just saying, I'm just another guy. I don't want to be bashing nobody, but listen, I see it all the time. Like, you guys find something better with the time to do, but that's just me, man.
So Squirrel, as he said in my interview we played before you came on, he's looking for that spectacular performance. What does a spectacular performance get him other than y'all just have to wait Keith out? Because, like, indirectly, is this a tune-up fight? Because word on the street is that y'all could have kind of waited Keith out and saw him sometime this year, but y'all want to stay active? Is that the reason for taking it? Because this is definitely not a tune-up fight. As we all know, Lamont Peterson is a dangerous opponent.
Yeah, he's a very dangerous opponent. It's not a tune-up fight, man. And it's not so much about Keith Thurman as much as it is about Errol Spence, and that's what we have to keep a focus on Errol Spence for ourselves, not for anybody else. I mean, and, it's not so much about him going out and fighting a particular type of fight. He has to fight the fight that he needs to fight, is that perfect performance that we train and we work on. So perfection is something he personally pushes for himself. And I'm pushing for him also, because I want that perfect fight, man. And it's like, you can't worry about Keith Thurman and anybody else. Somebody does want to fight. I mean, people. This is the thing about it. A lot of people lose sight of a lot of fighters. This is professional sport. I mean, Floyd created this idea of undefeated record, but in reality, I mean that doesn't really happen too often in professional sports, especially professional boxing. So, but this is the idea out there. Now, I think we just need to. Hey man, we want to be everybody wants to be undefeated, but it's just what it is. So they're gonna have to take a fight if they want to make a living, they provide for their families. And
nope, I think we may have lost Derrick there. Give us 1 second. We'll try to get him back on.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Okay, we lost you for a second. I think you cut out. We're good.
Yeah. So I think they just have to understand, man, that if they want to make a living and provide for their families, they're going to take those fights and go in there and do their best to be successful. But we're not going to wait on Keith or anybody else, and they shouldn't wait on us either.
Yeah, what's the ideal scenario looking, obviously 2017 was a big year, what's the ideal, picture for 2018? Like, what are some of the goals that you guys have besides obviously this first fight coming up here against Peterson? The end of 2018, where do you guys expect to be?
Well, Errol wants to fight 3 times this year. So, I mean, I support him in that. Jamel may want to fight 2 or 3 times. Also, Rob Brent's gonna fight, several times. So I don't go into it for myself personally. Like I want him to do this to do that because it's his personal career. So by the same as his career, I want him to do everything he wants to do. I'm just here to kind of facilitate and help him get in shape. I'm not so much about my personal agenda, my personal ideas, or how I want it to play out. I just let it play out. And I'm just there to be the training, do my job.
Nice.
Hello?
Well, yeah, I'm here. Yeah. What do you think the state of boxing's in? Because I'm starting to see more interviews when people basically want to get the exposure like the UFC fighters. What do you think fighters have to do to be on the late night talk shows and to be in the commercials? Because we don't see no. Not even Floyd was in commercials and stuff. What will it take for a boxer to do to be able to get that recognition like you see some of these UFC fighters?
Well, I think that, it's just, UFC is a different sport. It's not so much about that's the more popular sport because it's really not. I didn't say the boxing is good. I think that it's kind of difficult to even say what it would take for a fighter to get that type of recognition. Boxing is a sport. I don't want to say it, so I'm not gonna say it, but I don't know what it would take, man. I have no idea. I mean, Errol Spence is a guy who gets endorsements and market. He has some avenues that are coming open for him, and so that's what I say. I won't get into the other aspect of it. I just kind of say that, hey man, boxing is what it is, and it's great. And boxing is around the world is huge. When we talk about in America, it's something totally different. But in the world, it's huge.
Earl said, I got him finally open up about fighting here in Dallas at a big venue. Can you get the Slip and Dip podcast behind the scenes access if y'all fight here in Dallas via the Star, via the American Airlines Center Arena?
Man, anything's possible, man. If that's a possibility, we'll see how it goes. I know he said that he's going to fight in Dallas this year, and I think that'd be great. So we'll see, man. Everything's good, man. Everything's working out, going to plan. So we'll see about getting the Sip and Dip podcast in there, man.
Yeah, man, we would appreciate it, Anything we can do to grow the show.
That's good. That's good.
And last question: where's our mindset? Like, with a fight week, does it change for y'all or anything? Because the belt, or do y'all keep the same mentality? Because I know y'all get along with Lamont and them. There's no craziness. Like, as we know, leading up to the last fight, you had all the UK people talking shit for like 2 or 3 months. There's no animosity this time. So how do y'all stay in y'all lanes? It's just like a business trip for y'all going up to Brooklyn, defending that strap, let everybody know who won the 147, and come back to Dallas, or y'all just?
Well, yeah, man. It ain't so much about the being mad and being upset. I mean, it's a business, it's a job. It's just like we're just in a different type of business, but other people go to work and do the exact same thing. So we have to be focused on going to work and doing the exact same thing without being, we can be cool with them, which we're cool with them. Like Errol said, I can sit up with him and watch fights and watch boxing and still go and fight him right after that. You know what I mean? So, it's not a big deal. And that's what people have to understand. Like, you don't have to be, he doesn't have to be so super angry with a guy to go out there and, be the guy. So that's what's cool about it.
So can I get a "Keep It in Your Mouth" T-shirt next time I see you? I forgot to ask you who I got the other day. I was so locked in on what I had to do. I had to ask you about the damn shirt. I gotta get a "Keep It in Your Mouth" T-shirt so I can flash on people that be running their mouth.
You gotta go. That's Jamel. So see, that's Jamel's situation. That's not mine. I gotta go that Charlo is. I don't know what it's called, man. I'll find out for you. I'll find out what it is. Because it's his own. That's his own little deal right there. Keep one in your mouth.
It's a cool slogan, though. It is a cool slogan.
Yeah, it is. it lets you know what he's talking about. Like,
Yeah.
you just keep running your mouth.
That's the kind of stuff right there that gets people recognition, you know, on social media and stuff like that. You know, as Kendrick was kind of touching on, you know, getting that recognition, like that kind of stuff. That's like, you know, you see other guys doing that. What was it? I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm Let's Go Champ. The Let's Go Champ thing.
Talking about Shannon Briggs.
Shannon Briggs. Yeah, like that kind of stuff. Wow, like I thought about it and it went blank. I don't know. It's a long night. Anyways, yeah, the Let's Go Champ with Shannon Briggs, like that kind of stuff, like that goes a long way with people on social media, connecting with people. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, right, definitely. Yeah. But Shannon Briggs, my brother, man. It's my brother. My buddy.
Yeah.
Is he that wild in person, man? He be wilding on the YouTube videos.
He has a lot of energy, man, but
he's 45.
He's 46. He's 46.
Dang, he's had no shaving gear off, bro.
He's December 4th is his birthday.
Yeah.
He's 46. So I'll turn 46 next on January 23rd. So we right there together. But he got a lot of energy, man. You know, he like that for real. But he's low key. But he like, you know, he kind of, you know, he got a lot of energy, man. New York, like, man, yeah. That's him, man. But he like, yeah, that's him, man. He like that, man.
That's dope.
Well, that's a good way to end it, man. Hopefully you and Earl come back with that W, man. And we'll definitely stay in touch. As you know, you got a ball to get the call. I expect y'all to ball this weekend.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I appreciate that, man.
All right, man. Thanks for the time, brother. We look forward to talking to you after the fact. Yeah, we'll see y'all get that done.
Thank you. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you.
All right. Good night.